Welcome to Adventist Angels Watchman Radio, Part 1, The State of the Dead by Aaron G. White, or you can call it Spiritualism. The administration of all angels as presented in the scriptures is a truth most comforting and precious to every follower of Jesus Christ. But the Bible teaching upon this point has been obscured and perverted by the errors of popular theology. The doctrine of natural immortality, first borrowed from the pagan philosophy and in the darkness of the great apostasy, incorporated into the Christian faith, has supplanted the truth so plainly taught in the scripture, that the dead know not anything. Multitudes have come to believe that it is the spirits of the dead who are the ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation. And this, notwithstanding the testimony of the scripture, is to the existence of heavenly angels and their connection with the history of man before the death of human being. The doctrine of man's consciousness in death, especially the belief that the spirits of the dead return to minister to the living, has prepared the way for modern spiritualism. If the dead are admitted to the presence of God and the holy angels and privileged with knowledge far exceeding what they before possessed, why should they not return to the earth to enlighten and instruct the living? If, as taught by the popular theologians, the spirits of the dead are hovering about their friends on earth, why should they not be permitted to communicate with them, to warn them against evil, or to comfort them in sorrow? How can those who believe in man's consciousness in death reject what comes to them as a divine light communicated by glorified spirits? Here is a channel regarded as sacred, through which Satan works for the accomplishment of his purposes. The fallen angels who do his bidding appear as messengers from the spirit world, while professing to bring the living into communication with the dead, and the prince of evil exercises his bewitching influence upon their minds. He has power to bring before men the appearance of their departed friends. The counterfeit is perfect. The familiar look, the words, the tone are reproduced with marvelous distinctness. Men are comforted with the assurance that their loved ones are enjoying the bliss of heaven. And without suspicion of danger, they give ear to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. When they have been led to believe that the dead actually return to communicate with them, Satan causes claim to be happy in heaven and even to occupy. When they have been led to believe that the dead actually return to communicate with them, Satan causes those to appear who went into the grave and prepared. They claim to be happy in heaven and even to occupy exalted positions there, and thus the error is widely taught, and no difference is made between the righteous and the wicked. The pretended distance from the world of spirits sometimes utter cautions and warnings which prove to be correct. Then, as a confidence is gained, the result are present doctrines that directly undermine faith in the scriptures. With an assurance of deep interest in the well-being of their friends on earth, they insinuate the most dangerous errors. The fact that they state some truths and are able at times to foretell future events gives to their statements an assurance or an appearance of reliability, and their false teachings are accepted by the multitudes as readily and believed as implicitly as if they were the most sacred truths of the Bible. The law of God is set aside, the spirit of grace is despised, the blood of the covenant counted an holy thing. The spirits deny the divinity of Jesus Christ and place even the Creator on a level with themselves. Thus, under new disguise, the great rebel still carries forward his warfare against God, began in heaven and for nearly 6,000 years continued upon the earth. Many endeavor to account for spiritual manifestations by attributing them wholly to fraud and the sleight of hand on the part of the medium. But while it is true that the results of trickery have often been palmed off as genuine manifestation, there have been also marked exhibitions of supernatural power. The mysterious wrapping with which modern spiritualism began was not the result of human trickery or cunning, but was the direct work of evil angels, who thus introduced one of the most successful or soul-destroying delusions. Many will be ensnared through the belief that spiritualism is a merely human imposture. When brought face to face with manifestations which they cannot but regard as supernatural, they will be deceived and will be led to accept them as the great work of God or the great power of God. These persons overlook the testimony of the scriptures concerning the wonders wrought by Satan and his agents. It was by satanic aid that the Pharaoh's magicians were enabled to counterfeit the work of God. Paulo testified that before the second advent of Jesus Christ, there will be familiar manifestation of satanic power. The coming of the Lord is to be preceded by the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness. And the Apostle John, describing the miracle working power that will be manifested in the last days, declares, he does great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do. No mere impostures are here foretold. Men are deceived by the miracles which Satan's agents have power to do, not which they pretend to do. The prince of darkness, who has so long bent the powers of his mastermind to the work of deception, skillfully adapts his temptations to men of all classes and conditions. To persons of culture and refinement, he presents spiritualism in its more refined and intellectual aspects, and thus succeeds in drawing many into his snare. The wisdom which spiritualism imparts is that thus described by the Apostle James, which descended not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 9 and 10, Revelation chapter 13 verses 13 and 14, James chapter 3 verses 15, Genesis chapter 3 verses 5. This, however, the great deceiver conceals when concealment will best suit his purpose. He will appear clothed with the brightness of the heavenly seraphs before Christ in the wilderness of temptation, which comes to men in the most attractive manner as an angel of light. He appears to the reason by the presentation of everlasting themes. He delights the fancy with a rapturing scenes, and he enlightens or enlists the affections by his eloquent portrayals of love and charity. He excites the imagination to lofty flights, leading men to take so great pride in their own wisdom that in their hearts they despise the eternal one, that mighty being who could take the world's Redeemer to an exceedingly high mountain, and bring before him all the kingdoms of the earth and the glory of them, will present his temptation to men in a manner to pervert the senses of all who are not shielded by divine power. Thank you and welcome back. Satan beguiles men now as he beguiled Eve in Eden, by flattery, by kindling a desire to obtain forbidden knowledge, by exciting ambition for self-exaltation. It was cherishing these evils that caused his fall, and through them he aims to combat the ruin of men. You shall be as gods, he declares, knowing good and evil. Spiritualism teaches that man is the creature of progression, that it is his destiny from his path to progress, even to eternity, toward the Godhead. And again, each mind will judge itself and not another. The judgment will be right because it is the judgment of self. The throne is within you, said a spiritualistic teacher, as the spiritual consciousness awoke within him. My fellow men, all one foreign demigods, and another declares, and just and perfect being is Christ. Thus, in place of the righteousness and perfection of the infinite God, the true object of adoration, in place of the perfect righteousness of his law, the true standard of human attainment, Satan has substituted the sinful hearing nature of man himself as the only object of adoration, the only ruler of judgment, or a standard of character. This is progress not upward but downward. It is a law both of the intellectual and the spiritual nature that by beholding we become changed. The mind gradually adapts itself to the subjects upon which it is allowed to dwell. It becomes assimilated to that which it is accustomed to love and reverence. Man will never rise higher than his standard of purity or goodness or truth. If self is his loftiest ideal, he could never attain to anything more exalted. Rather, he could constantly sink lower and lower. The grace of God alone has power to exalt man. Left to himself, his course must inevitably be downward. To the self-indulgent, the pleasure-loving, the sensual, spiritualism presents itself under a less susceptible disgust than to the more refined and intellectual. In its grosser forms, they will find that which is in harmony with their inclinations. Satan studies every indication of the frailty of human nature. He marks the sins which each individual is inclined to commit, and then he takes care that opportunities shall not be wanting to gratify the tendency to evil. He tempts men to excess in that which is in itself lawful, causing them through intemperance to weaken physical, mental, and moral power. He has destroyed and is destroying thousands through the indulgence of the passions, thus brutalizing the entire nature of man. And to complete his work, he declares through the spirits that true knowledge places man above all law, and whatsoever is right, is right, that God does not condemn, and that sin which are committed are innocent. When the people are thus led to believe that desire is the highest law, that light is license, and that man is accountable only to himself, who can wonder that corruption and depravity came on every hand? Multitudes eagerly accept teachings that leave them at liberty to obey the promptings of the carnal heart. The reins of self-control are laid upon the neck of lust. The powers of mind and soul are made subject to animal propensities, and Satan exultingly sweeps into his net thousands who profess to be the followers of Jesus Christ. This is Adventist Angels Watchman Radio. We welcome you to part 2 of this same chapter. God bless you. Peace be with you. May God bless you so much for taking your time to join us on this particular moment. But none need to be deceived by the lying claims of spiritualism. God has given the world sufficient light to enable them to discover the snare. As already shown, the theory which forms the very foundations of spiritualism at war with the plainest statements of Scripture. The Bible declares that the dead know not anything, that their thoughts are perishable, they have no part in anything that is done under the sun. They know not anything of the joys or sorrows of those who were dearest to them on the earth. Find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. God bless you. Share this.